Greetings everyone, my name is Dominic and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today I'm back in the world of Clover Press doing another overview for one of these Marvel Art of books. Today, as you probably can tell, this of course is the Marvel Art of David Nakayama. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this is maybe the fourth or fifth entry in this line of books from Clover Press. Of course, on the cover here, we have Scarlet Witch, definitely a notable Marvel character to be sure. Nakayama's work is something I've become more familiar with in the recent years. When I heard they were doing an art collection of his work over here at Clover Press, I was definitely intrigued, so imagine my joy when I heard they were sending one over for review. A huge thank you to those at Clover Press for sending over this review copy. Before we dive into the overview today, though, I also want to shout out the channel sponsor, OrganicPriceBooks.com. If you're looking to pick up your own comic book collected editions, perhaps this very book, I highly encourage you to check out their website. You can find a link to it in the video's description, and if you see anything on that site you like, you can use my discount code at checkout, TheComicBookReport, to save $2 off of your order. Please note if you use that affiliate link or code to make a purchase, I will earn a small commission, but it's a fantastic way to support this channel. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and start today's overview. Okay, and of course this is the dedicated look at the front cover of today's collection with Scarlet Witch on the front. I think for Kickstarter release they maybe had a different cover or a slipcase perhaps, but this standard release here is just this book with this cover. There is no dust jacket or anything like that, just this beautiful art on board. A lot of red here of course, which not only matches the Scarlet Witch, but is fun for the Marvel art of, being Marvel red. But yeah, overall striking cover. Moving along to the spine, we do have this awesome image of Spider-Gwen, the ghost spider. Then we have Marvel, the Marvel art of, and then David Nakayama in really large, bold red lettering across a field of black. And at the bottom of the spine, we do have the Clover Press logo. I'm happy to say that this is a uniform spine with the other releases in this collection thus far. I will do a side-by-side with the couple others I have currently in my collection that I've also overviewed on this channel. But before we get there, just a few more notes. Of course, this is the back cover. We have a little note that there's a foreword by J. Scott Campbell. We have a blurb about the collection itself, and then we have little thumbnail snippets of different pieces of art from, of course, the titular David Nakayama. We have a little blurb as well about these collections. We have the publisher, and then we have the Marvel logo and some pricing information. Before we go too deeply into the overview, I did want to show a couple features off about this collection, including the red gilded edging on the book, which I really liked. This is something as well that's uniform within this line of books. We also have a black ribbon sewn in, which does make a nice placekeeper or bookmark kind of feature. And now for all you prospective collectors out there, a quick look at the sewn binding for this collection. As you can see, mine has a nice eye here. This is after reading it through completely one time. I will say, like the others in this line, this book is really well bound and it lays fairly flat, which for an art book like this, coffee table book like this, I love to see. It gives you a nice full presentation experience, and I'm just overall very, very happy with this book's binding. And now for the matter of scale, I thought I'd show this collection next to a standard size trade paperback, which of course is the same height or trim size as a single issue comic book, just to again give you an idea of how much larger this book is from just a standard comic or trade paperback collection. So you will see obviously the art in many cases is oversized, which I did like quite a bit, but again I thought I'd go ahead and show this for scale. To do that I have the Ultimates Volume 1 from Marvel Comics, their new Ultimate Universe line. I'm not sure which I'm releasing first, but rest assured I do plan to do a review of that trade paperback collection, so if I have already released it, I'll make sure to link it in this video, and if not, definitely stay tuned to the channel in the coming weeks. And now just a quick look at the spine and the scale between these two collections. Just one final look, and then I will go ahead and show this volume next to the others I have in the Marvel Art of collection so far. Okay, and here's today's collection, the Marvel Art of David Nakayama. Next to the other two releases I have from Clover Press in this line, I have the Marvel Art of Russell Dodderman and the Marvel Art of Michael Turner. I did do overviews such as this one for both of those other releases. I think so far they also have the Marvel Art of Alex Maleev as well as the Marvel Art of David Mack. I would definitely be interested in those collections as well, but so far, as I mentioned, these are the current releases I have in my personal collection. And as you can see, there is a tremendous tremendous amount of uniformity with these collections. I think what Clover Press is doing is really, really well designed, sleek. I love the look of them on a bookcase, just to see all the spines lined up. It just looks really, really clean. And yeah, these are really great books. You can also set them out, as I mentioned, as like coffee table books, or just, with your other kind of comic miscellaneous books if you have that in your collection. A tremendous size, well put together. Really, what Clover's doing is pretty fantastic. Okay, and with that, we can go ahead and jump into the collection proper. And after those beautiful red Marvel end pages, we do have a brief title page, followed by the publication information page, a note on the editors and people that help put the collection together, and then we have a brief introduction by the titular David Nakayama, as well as a dedication. Following that, we do have a foreword from J. Scott Campbell, as I mentioned earlier, and then after that, we're really off to the races here with this book. We basically, after that point, just have the curated art from, yes, David Nakayama. And for that work, it's mostly just covers we have from Nakayama, but it is really beautifully arrayed. He is a modern comics artist, of course, so it is a modern style. I do like this. This is just like the other collections I've already overviewed for this line, like Russell Dodderman and Michael Turner. If you're unfamiliar, again, these are kind of coffee table-like books that just showcase the art of these incredible Marvel artists. As far as the kind of art you get, though, collection to collection, it's been a little bit different for me. Like, I've read some that have kind of different sketches or other kind of artwork styles or commissioned drawings. Again, this one seems to be primarily covers, although you get variants and a lot of really good art here. Some of the collections have also included more essays or things from people. This one, other than the introductory matter, it really is just focused on the art, which I enjoyed. Some of these collections also have pull-out kind of multi-page spreads that are all linked together. I did note one inclusion of that at the end of this book, which you will see. But yeah, other than that, again, we just go through the covers, and most of them are these gigantic full-page spreads. Some are kind of a splash page across two, like a wraparound cover. Every so often we get instances of thumbnailized, like little versions kind of collaged together. But as with the rest in this line that I've read, it's all really just beautifully curated. I think the editors did a tremendous job on this collection. Certainly, if you're a fan of Nakayama, this is a must-get for you. As far as people that can pick this up, obviously, reader discretion advised. There's nothing wildly explicit here. There are some racy images on some of these covers, so again, just reader discretion advised there. But yeah, really Nakayama has a beautiful style, and it's kind of cool because this also traces kind of the history of a lot of his art. So we get every couple pages kind of the year in which the art was published, which I liked. There's notes as to where the art is drawn from as well, like which issue, things like that. I loved all of that to kind of timestamp it in a way. I also like to see the progress of his artwork and his visual style. I think some is more animated and kind of rounded, polished looking. He has some art in here that looks a little more hyper realistic, and all of that I really enjoyed. We also have some art here that feels like straight-laced covers, and we have some variants that really lean more into a stylized artistic piece where the character kind of fades into the color of the background, or we have them looking like a kind of side-by-side fighter game, almost like a Marvel vs. Capcom or Marvel versus Marvel, I guess in this case, but really, really fun. There's a lot of Deadpool in here, a good handful of Scarlet Witch and X-Men characters. We have, of course, a lot of different Marvel people showcased. Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen as well, another huge notable inclusion. Spider-Man himself, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, a lot of like spider-heavy characters, mutant-heavy characters. So a lot of characters in my wheelhouse for sure. So I really love seeing some of the art here. I was familiar with some of these covers. I've definitely seen Nakayama's art show up over the years, but to have a dedicated book or collection like this to showcase it, it really just is a real treat. Again, it's worth noting, I'm really impressed by the evolution of this artist, and even the range he seems to possess. There's a lot of different art styles for Nakayama across this book, and I think I was honestly impressed by that. I was more aware of certain things he brought to the table, And yet, there was art in here that genuinely surprised me. I think he's a terrific talent, and I love seeing a lot of his work showcased in this fashion. A couple other things about the book itself. I know I already showed you the sewn binding and that red gilded pages, but a couple other notes. Of course, it is oversized. It is a kind of high gloss archival kind of paper stock, which I love to see. The book itself is about 200 pages in length, and again, it's mostly just this art. We had some of the introductory kind of essay matter at the front, but this is really what you get with the collection. So if you're a fan of his art, this is definitely a must pick up, I'm sure, for many of you. I know I mentioned as well that most of the artwork we see are comic book covers or variant covers, but we also have some imagery he's done for Marvel Legends packaging and DVD packaging and other kind of, things like that. And I liked that as well. Just seeing how his art's been utilized in different mediums or in different fashions. I like that we get so much of it collected here. In this next stretch, as you're seeing, these are the kind of things I was talking about where the character fades into the background a bit with the color scheme. We also have him doing a kind of magazine cover art style. I thought that this was interesting as well. You definitely see this showcased throughout the book. And then we have a huge slew of stuff with Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen, which I liked. I really enjoyed that character, so it was fun seeing his take on her. As I make my way toward the back of this collection, just a couple other things I want to talk about. I'm really interested in the process by which Clover selects these artists. Obviously, Marvel has a huge history of incredible artists. Personally, as a reader of this line, I do like that they seem to be favoring more contemporary Marvel artists. I am probably more of a modern Marvel Comics fan versus some of the older school stuff, although I do have a huge heart for older art styles, the Silver Age in particular. But yeah, I do like that we have a showcasing of modern Marvel artists. It's cool to see essays from the artists themselves in many cases here, and other creators kind of giving their props to them. But yeah, I really like it. I'm curious what the selection process is. I know there's some more forthcoming from Clover, so if you are interested, definitely stay tuned. They're always releasing news about kind of upcoming collections or Kickstarters they're doing, and I know that there's like other covers available sometimes if you go the Kickstarter route initially. I think Mike Allred is forthcoming, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, a lot of exciting creators down the pipeline over at Clover Press for this Marvel Art of series. And I should note as well, if you frequented this channel a few times, you might notice that this is an overview rather than a full review where I grade the collection and kind of break it down a little more. Obviously I couldn't really do that here. We don't really have storylines or things I can analyze in that way. And because of that, I thought an overview was a bit more appropriate. And here's, of course, that side-by-side fighter kind of imagery. I really loved this. I thought this was so fantastic as a two-page spread. But as we make our way toward the back of the collection, we have a couple other beautiful art pieces, spread pages, and then the book actually concludes after a little bit about the artist. We have the kind of pull-out pages that I was mentioning earlier. In this case, we have one that's all about the New Mutant magic, and then at the back we have one that really is a showcasing of Miles Morales and what I believe is Carnage. So yeah, a really striking way to end the collection for sure. I do like these kind of fold out pages, and I like that Clover Press has these kind of intricate details, or just impressive layouts or formatting styles for their collected editions, however we want to say that. But basically after that, we do have those red end pages again, and that really is the Marvel art of David Nakayama from Clover Press. My third collected entry in this run for me, like I said, I think there's about 5 or so that are already released at the time of the recording, with more on the way. I am curious in the comments section, have you picked this book up? Would you pick this book up? Are you curious about what Clover has to offer here? Again, I've been really, really fascinated and blown away by the just quality of this line. This was another really fantastic entry that celebrates another artist I've come to enjoy in recent years. But again, that is just the Marvel art of David Nakayama. A huge thank you for all of you for making this journey with me. You made it to the end. Thank you sincerely. And another huge thank you, of course, to those at Clover Press for sending over this review copy in exchange for this overview. I had a fun time making my way through this, and I hope you've enjoyed this video as well. Until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please, as always, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and maybe check out another video on your way out. Thank you so much, and have a good one.